Hello everyone. Alright, today I have the Lee 6-Pack Pro that I recently bought and set up. Right now it's set up for 357 Magnum, and I wanted to go ahead and just give you a little bit of a demo of the unit, and also to show you a couple tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. So let me just get started right now. So first of all, let me just show you what I have in each of the stations. In the first station right here, I have the decapper and resizing die right here, and then over here I have the expander die along with the powder drop. Okay, and this is set up right now with accurate number 9, 13.5 grains. Of that. Then I have the double alpha powder check right here, and I have and I have an empty station, which I'll end up putting the Lee inline bullet feed once it comes out. I understand sometime in March. I know there's a few other options I could get now, but I'm just going to stick with the Lee since that's what this is. Then I have the bullet cedar die right here. Then I have the factory crimp die in the final 6th station. So let me start by showing you a couple of the tricks that I've come up with. So one of the things that I need to do from time to time is operate the press, but I don't want any more cases to come down. And you know, I think by accident I sort of figured out how to prevent that from happening. You can just, you know, this collator here turns, and you can put it slightly off. I don't know what the off axis, I guess. And if you do that, the case isn't going to fall from the top. I don't know that you can see it at the angle, but there's a case just sitting here and it's not dropping. So I can just keep on cycling this thing and the case isn't dropping. Okay, anyway, and then of course if I put it exactly where it needs to be, the case is going to drop. So that one I kind of figured out by accident when the cases weren't dropping. I was like, and I figured out, oh, it's not quite turned into the correct location. So that's helped me here and there. So let me set that up so it doesn't drop. All right, another thing that I learned online actually is over here I have put a 9mm case underneath the shell plate and the base, the base of the unit here. And what this does is it prevents the shell plate, and I can't remember the name of all the parts, but the base from going all the way down. And you might say, well, why wouldn't I want the base to go all the way down? And the reason why is because when the base does go all the way down, especially if I'm not currently loading, the primer actually pops up. And again, I don't know that you maybe, hopefully you can see that. The primer pops up, and that's not the end of the world to have the primer pop up. In fact, that's part of the design. But every now and then, I've noticed that the primer actually falls off the pin, and then it gets wedged in you know, underneath the shell plate, and I don't want that to happen. And everything gets jammed up. So there's times where I just don't want the primer to come up. I'm not priming a case. So what I've done, and I learned this on the High Road forum, is I just put a 9mm case right here. Actually, I should say that I learned it from Lee, and Lee has been in contact with some members of the High Road forum, and then they posted this tip. So if I that space prevents the primer from popping all the way up, and then it also prevents the primer from falling into, you know, underneath the shell plate and then jamming up things. So I've been doing that when needed, and I can just sort of operate the action, and it just doesn't go down all the way. I know there's been a lot said about, well, you have to do a full stroke with this, and if I'm actually reloading, then yes, you need to do a full stroke both up and down. But like I said, but it's not going to ruin things if you don't do a full stroke, as long as you get it to the point where the shell plate is actually turning, which it is, as you can see. So I'm not doing a full stroke either up or down, and it's fine. Okay, and the final tip I have before I actually do a demo of the reloading, and again, I also learned this one on YouTube. So one of the issues that has happened, especially when this unit was very new, when it first came out, is that the primer chute, and again, I know I'm not getting all the names right, but so in order to get these primers to come down the chute, is what I'm going to call it for now, the entire primer tray needs to shake, okay? And in order to make it shake, there's a little pin right here that is supposed to make contact with this support bar, and there's an indentation in the support bar where this little metal pin is supposed to go into, and it just shakes everything. Well, I was finding that it wasn't quite working, and actually Lee, and this is the updated, everything here is updated. They made a larger diameter pin, and I found that for whatever reason that still wasn't quite working. So online I discovered that if you wrap something inside that indentation and sort of make a positive indentation rather than a negative indentation, that works a little better. So I tried to zip tie it first, and that was too thick, but then I found this twist tie, which might be hard to see because it happens to be black, and it probably sort of fades into the color of the unit, but it's there, tied right into the groove, and it shakes it really well. So that's perfect. I imagine in time it's going to wear out a little bit, and I'll just put another zip tie on there. Not a zip tie, another twist tie on there. So I think that'll work pretty well. Those are the main tips that I can think of. So let me go ahead and do a little bit of reloading and show you this thing in action. So I'm going to get that case out of there because I don't need that anymore. Now, and I'm going to make sure I put there we go, the case feeder, so that it'll actually work. All right, and I have to admit, I'm kind of new at progressive presses in general. I'm certainly new at this one, and I'm new to progressive presses. I was previously using the Lee turret press, and if you've used that, you know, it's pretty easy to use in that you get to think about every action, you know, that you're doing, and the idea of having all these, you know, at least 5 different things happening at once. I'm really slow at it right now because I'm really just trying to think and make sure everything is working as it should. So I'm kind of slow at it, but that's okay. I don't want to mess it up. And I guess as I get more and more used to it, I'll be faster at it. But for now, I'm going to take my time and just make some ammo here. All right, so anyway, as far as the powder check goes, I'm hoping that you're not going to hear anything. The idea with this double alpha powder check is that if there is too much powder in the case, it's going to beep. Or if there's no powder in the case, it's going to beep. But if the powder is where it needs to be, the level of the powder inside of the case, then it's not going to beep. All right, so I'm going to show you what's going to happen with that powder check if there's no powder in there. So I'm just going to drop one case. Do I have this lined up? Yeah, there we go. Drop one case. Okay, come on. Yeah, not doing a full stroke is not good for that part. All right. All right, and I'm expecting to hear a beep because right now there is no powder in that case. I'm going to take this. I should have stopped the second case from coming out. Let me get that case out, because I don't want to put powder in that. All right. Yeah, there we go. So there's no powder in there. You heard the beep. I don't know if you, I think you probably can see it, but the red light went on the front. So you get the visual and the audio warning. All right, so enough of that. Let's do it for real now. I'm gonna put these cases back in. There we go. Of course, that's not how you use the collator. The idea with the collator is that I'm going to dump a whole bunch of cases up here, and then I'm just going to shake it like this. And what it does is it orients the cases correctly, and then just drops them into each of these tubes. But I'm not doing that, showing you that in this video. All right, so anyway, I'm going to get that 9mm casing out of there so I can do a full stroke. And let's begin. Let me make sure I have enough primers, enough cases, bullets right here. All right, so here we go. Oh, didn't drop. Did I not set that right? I guess I didn't set it right. Okay. All right. Okay, now I am resizing, dropping the old primer, priming. Only it's I forgot to yeah, see, I make mistakes. All right, there, primed. Get powder in there. All right, prime. Not hearing any beeps, so that's a good thing. Prime. Prime and place. Now I have to place. Prime and place. Bullet. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I'm going to prime. I'm going to place. And I'm going to put my glasses on. Because you need to have glasses when you reload. Okay, here we go. I forgot that because I was setting things up on my end for the video. Okay, so I've primed and placed. You got to keep track of where you are when you stop. That's messed me up. So that's why before I stopped to put my glasses on, I said I primed and I placed. Now prime, place. I'll just say it in my head instead of out loud now. So with practice, you get the rhythm of it. Oh, that's not good. That kind of stuff happens. I don't know why that one happened, but the case did not stay. Okay, let me finish that. I don't like to stop like that. Okay, prime. Probably because the whole thing is shaking when I prime. And that's going to be it for the cases. I'm not going to put any more cases. I'm going to finish what I have now. Okay. That was a finished round that fell on the floor. Not sure why that didn't make it into the bin. that over just a little bit. Prime. Place. Of course, I'm not priming, but I'm just saying it to keep it in my head. Yeah, and the primer is popping up, of course, but I have to do full strokes right now. Actually, I probably don't, because I'm not priming. Okay. And the crimp. Alright, and that's that. I'm going to lift that up a little bit. I'm going to put my 9mm case right back underneath. Alright. So that's the operation here. And what I'd like to do next is I'm going to go ahead and grab my digital calipers. And I'm just going to go through and I'm going to feel the primer, make sure that it's fully set in there. I'm going to look at where the crimp, if the crimp happened in the cantilure, and check the length of each one. And I don't know that you need to watch me do this for however many I just made, about 10 or 12, but that would be the process. Alright, so anyway, that's that. I don't think I need to. Oh, by the way, I do have an inline fabrication base on here. If you're wondering, I mentioned that everything was shaking. This base is pretty solid. If anything is shaking, it would be be my table, which is also pretty solid. And that one bullet, that one cartridge fell out. I guess maybe my bin wasn't quite over enough, but you can't put it over too far because then it'll interfere with the action here. But yeah, I have the flush mount inline fabrication mount here, which I did not recess into my table, so I had to get the extra spacer as well. And you can't see it, but on the wall behind me I have my turret press, so it's all quick change. If I wanted to, I can just easily take this out, put the turret press right back in, and I'm ready to go. But yeah, so far I'm pretty happy with this. As you can see, I'm still pretty slow at the whole process. I'm just being careful. But at least I can get through the process slowly without making too many mistakes like I did when I first got the unit. And I think that as long as I keep practicing, I'll get better at it. And so far I've only done 357 Magnum. I do have, wherever they went, there they are, still in the packages. I have my 44 Magnum, 44 Special, 45 Colt shell plate, and I have my 9mm shell plate so that I can do some different calibers. And I hope you found this interesting, and thanks for watching. See ya. Bye-bye.